I mean, that's not funny.
No, it's not. It's not.
What's going on, everyone? It's Alex back again. So today's Friday, which means it's the big day. Finally getting the car dyno tuned. On our way there now. We're on the PA Turnpike. Should be there in about 24 minutes. Going to RT Tuning. That's where I go to get my cars tuned. They do an awesome job. Vince there's a great tuner, so I'm hoping that he can get some good power out of this car. Brought my friend Ahmed along with me. Say hi.
What's going on?
Super excited to see how the car does. I'm not setting my expectations too high. I don't want to be disappointed, but I've heard good things about this Ecutech software, so I'm excited to see how well it does on my car. I'm hoping, or I'd be happy with around 305 wheel horsepower. What do you think, Ahmed? What do you think it's going to make?
I'm saying 300.
He's saying 300. He doesn't have as much faith as I do, but we will see regardless.
Let's get the show rolling, baby.
Let's do it. Let's get it going, and we'll be there shortly.
Arrived at your destination, 110 Commerce Drive, on the right.
And we're here. All right, we're here. Super excited to see what kind of numbers it puts down. Let's get to it. Can't wait. Look at that. That's beautiful. Here we are. RT Tuning.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Gonna get a couple dueling Nissans here. I think he's gonna win though. So we got a baseline run of 292 with no tune. That's pretty good. Guys, I'm back home. Unfortunately, the dyno is malfunctioning a little bit. The speed sensors on the dyno are acting a little funny, and it was basically cutting the run short in terms of the readings. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a good reading from the last dyno run. So unfortunately, what that means is on paper, I only have a dyno run up to 6,500 RPM, and the red line is now at 7,800 RPM. So there's a 1,300 RPM segment that's not accounted for, but that's no fault of my tuner, that's just the malfunction of the dyno. And it's really not a big deal because it's all about how the tune feels and, the smoothness of the curve on the graph, which is really excellent. So here's the dyno sheet. So unfortunately the reading stops at about 6,500 RPMs here, but at 6,500 RPM, the max power is 305 and max torque is 262. There was one run that my tuner was able to semi-record, and he saw 307 horsepower. So obviously this portion here is kind of unknown. But if we compare it to the baseline, there is a little bit of room for growth in this area. So that number of 307 that Vince told me is probably right. It probably goes from 305 to about 307 at redline. But again, if you look at the whole dyno curve, both power and torque. The tune looks amazing. The lines are straight, there's no dips. Now what's of biggest importance for a street car, especially this car that I use for daily driving, is right in this mid-range here. So that's about from, I would say, 4,500 to 5,500. The increase is pretty significant both in torque and power. And that's where you're going to be using most of the power of the car for daily driving with acceleration, with passing. So it just looks excellent compared to baseline. So the final number that I'm going to say, according to Vince, is about 307 wheel horsepower. That's awesome for the amount of work that I have done to this car. And from a baseline run of 292 horsepower to a final output of about 307 horsepower, that's an awesome gain for the little bit of mods I have and the tune. This goes to show you how much of a difference the tune really helps. So just the tune alone gained me about 15 wheel horsepower. That's just amazing. The tune feels great. I'll go into detail about the tune and how the car feels in a different video. But I am super satisfied with the car. The car feels amazing and the tune looks great. I can really feel that big difference in the mid-range, which is really what I was going for. My initial goal and guess for the power was between 300 and 305, and I was going to be perfectly happy with that. And that's pretty much where the car sits now, so I'm just thrilled. I thought I was guessing a little too high, with the amount of work I have done, but in the end, it came out at about 307 horsepower, and that's a really great number. At a later date, I'll probably go back, once the dyno's back in order, I'll probably get a run on the dyno just to get a full printout to 7,800 RPM and see what the actual concrete number is on paper. Even with a power reading of 305 horsepower at only 6,500 RPMs, I'm more than happy. I'm just blown away by the performance of this car in, again, virtually stock trim. So this just goes to show you that you don't have to spend a ton of money on your car to make a little bit of power. Granted, the tune was the most expensive part of this project, but it also made the most difference. So with the tune combined, along with the modifications I made, my final grand total is under $1,500. So unfortunately, I don't have a baseline run of the car completely stock, but they tend to run about 285 wheel horsepower, give or take. So if you take that stock number of about 285, and you look at the number I achieved, let's say 305, that's a gain of 20 wheel horsepower. So for an investment of about $1,500 to gain 20 horsepower, that's pretty good. So in talking to Vince, we realized that my biggest restriction at this point is probably the stock mid-pipe, the Y-pipe and mid-pipe. Like I said, I have high flow cats and the muffler delete, but there's a big bottleneck now between the Y-pipe and the mid-pipe. And according to Vince, the power could increase, probably about 5 horsepower if I got, an actual full catback exhaust. I'm not going to do that now, but hopefully in the future, I'll have some extra money that I can get a full catback exhaust, and then we can see what kind of power it'll make with that. But yet again, I'm super impressed with the car. I'm super happy with the way it feels, and that's what I was looking for right now. Pretty much achieved my goal, and that's awesome. And I also want to thank RT Tuning in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania. Great shop, great group of guys, and Vince really knows how to tune a car to get some great numbers. I've taken my cars to him multiple times, and I'm always impressed. So thanks again, Vince, for the great tune, and I look forward to coming back. So I hope with you guys watching this little series I put together of the work that I did on the G, I hope it gives you some motivation to do some work to your car and just shows you that you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get some nice horsepower gains. So even though I'm happy with the outcome of my G and it's at a good place right now, I'm nowhere near done with that car or the Z. I have many plans for both, and I hope you're as excited as I am to see what's coming up. I hope everyone enjoys the video so far. If you're subscribed, thank you very much. And if you're not already subscribed, please click that subscribe button and make sure you have the notifications turned on for my channel so you can follow me and see what's coming up. If you have any questions or comments, please drop a comment down below. I'll answer any questions you may have. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And stay tuned for more cool stuff that I'm going to be doing to my cars. Thanks, and see you next time.